Hi, it's me, Big B, the anti-lawyer lawyer, here for another Facebook Live episode. And if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, maybe I posted on Twitter, I said today, free legal advice Friday. So it's what I'm going to do every Friday. We've got Facebook Live at 11 every Friday. So any legal questions you have, as long as they're not too complex, a couple sentences, and again, they're within the field of personal injury, I'm happy to answer them. You can tweet me, Instagram me, Facebook me, message me, email me, call the office, do whatever you want to do to get that email question over, and then I'll answer it the best I can. And so today, if you have any questions, just send them in live, and here on out, just send them in live, and I'm happy to answer them. Unfortunately, I'm not as popular as I thought, so no one's emailed me any questions or tweeted me or Instagram me. So I came up with a list of 5 frequently asked questions, the most frequently asked questions I get. And so I'm going to run through those. And if anybody has a question, ask it, I'll answer it. If not, then I'll feel a little sad, but we'll get through it today. So the first thing is, people ask is, retaining me, does it cost any money? So like any, or I should say most personal injury lawyers, we work off a contingency fee. So what that means is, we only get paid if we recover money for you. So if we don't recover you anything, then you don't pay any money. And more importantly, I think that sometimes as a people's concern is that initial consultation. They're worried that, hey, listen, if I go and utilize some of this guy's time, I have to sign with them. You don't, you owe it to yourself to do due diligence about the lawyers and hire the one that you feel comfortable with. So if the lawyer's worth his grain in salt, then he's going to offer that free consultation and let you sit down with him or her and get a good gauge of where everything's going to go. Number 2 is, how long does it take to get paid? So I'm sure you've heard the saying, in a wreck, need a check. It's an unfortunate series of words, and I'll tell you why. Because it sets an unrealistic expectation on people that they're in a wreck and they're going to get a check right away. It's not how it works. The longest barrier, I guess you would say, to getting that check would be your medical treatment. Can't even settle your case until you're completed your medical treatment, because then and only then do you understand a full accounting of injuries and then your medical bills. Once you're done treating, we go to every law office, I should say, orders all the medical records, 30 to 60 days. Get in all the medical records, draft up a settlement demand. We get consent from client to send the demand. The demand goes out. You give them 2 weeks to reply. Typically, the insurance carrier will ask for another week or 2, which is pretty standard. And then you negotiate. So that process can take 4 to 6 weeks. Then once you agree on the number, if you can, because if you can't, then you got to file suit. And if you got to file suit, we're talking about a different process that can take years. I mean, I think people think, hey, I'm going to file a suit, I'm going to get it. No. Litigation is more time consuming than pre-litigation, or the period that we try to settle your case before filing a lawsuit. So unfortunately, it's not that quick to get a check. Obviously, we do everything that we can to expedite your case forward. We want to resolve it as quickly as possible, just like you want to resolve it. Number 3 is property damage. So most personal injury firms, probably in the country, for sure in the Valley, they don't want to handle your property damage claim. And the reason they don't is because they don't take any money off of it. If your car suffered $5,000 in damage, they're going to give you $5,000 to fix that damage. And obviously taking some fees out of that would result in your car not being fixed or you being out of pocket. So that's why most firms don't do it. Here, we do it. I'm happy to help clients as much as I can. If they want us to handle their property damage, we will, but beware. People are rarely happy with the estimates they get on the property damage. They're rarely happy with the repairs done. And then if they're even that much more unfortunate that their car is determined a total loss because it suffered that much damage, the money that they get offered for that total loss is never what they want it to be. It's always a shadow of it, and they're not happy. But we're happy to help with that. So whatever you need, when you come over to us, we help you with that. 4, how much is your case worth? Impossible to tell you without knowing the exact injuries and medical specials. And obviously other factors go into it too, but I think those are the main 2. If you suffered some minor sprain strains in your neck and your medical bills are say $3-4 grand, a really reasonable estimate is going to be that your case is going to be worth, $5,000 to $7,000, depending. Again, a lot of other factors go into it than just that. But let's assume that you slipped and fell at your favorite restaurant, and you tore your ACL. Your medical bills are probably going to be $60,000 to $70,000. So your settlement's going to be somewhere in the range of $120,000, $130,000. Again, everything else being equal, just playing off of those particular facts, because again, other circumstances come into it. So the long and short of it, I'd be really concerned of any lawyer that's able to say, hey, I'm going to get you X. No lawyer can guarantee you that, because there's so many factors that go into it. And the truth of the matter is, even if your case is worth X, for the most part, people rather have, one in the hand instead of two in the bush. Meaning, if your case is worth 100, that might be what a jury's going to give you if you want to litigate your case and live with it for 2 to 3 years. So a lot of people are willing to take a little bit of a discount, because the old adage is true, right? $1 today is worth more than $1 tomorrow. And then people will settle it sooner just to get some money in their pocket. So again, that's how we value cases. I wish it was quick and dirty. It just isn't. So the last one, number 5, is kind of like the bad news scenario. Is what happens if you get in an accident and the person doesn't have insurance? Well, if they don't have insurance and you don't have any additional insurance, which I'm going to talk about in a second, then you're SOL. You got nothing. Unless they got a trust fund or something, there's just nothing there to collect against. Now, people would be like, well, you can sue them and get a judgment. Sure, you could do all of that, but unless it involves punitive damage claim, meaning, they were drunk or they intentionally hit you in the head with an axe or something like that, if they just declare bankruptcy, that judgment you got is all gone. So the way you can protect yourself against that is by getting uninsured coverage. So when you buy insurance on your car, you're obviously protecting yourself. So if you hurt or injure somebody else, that your insurance is there, and we call that third-party coverage. Well, the law requires your insurance carrier to offer you the ability to purchase for extra premiums underinsured coverage and uninsured coverage up to the limits that you purchased for the third-party coverage. So if someone doesn't have insurance and you have uninsured coverage, then you're able to make a claim against your own insurance company to recover. Then underinsured coverage, again, is what it is. What it sounds like is, let's assume someone had the minimum coverage, which coverages are going to be going up here in the Arizona to $25,000 per person, $50,000 per occurrence, but now it's $15,000 per person, $30,000 per occurrence. So the way it'll work is, if your claim is worth 30 grand and you only get 15, then that person's underinsured, and you can go and get that other 15 against your insurance company, again, if you have underinsured coverage. So I think we got a question.
Byron, do you handle malpractice?
I don't handle any malpractice. So there's medical malpractice, and then there's also legal malpractice. Medical malpractice is a specialty in and of itself. I shouldn't say I never do. There are med mal cases that I handle. With that, you have to have an affidavit from a treating physician in the like practice area, of medicine, to sign an affidavit stating that that doctor's care fell below the reasonable standard of care for that profession. And so we do have those. I actually have a couple of them right now. But the larger ones, it's really good to go to a different lawyer or doctor. Sorry, the person holding the camera is shaking like a leaf, so I'm just going to hold it. But yeah, typically what I do is I bring in another firm to handle some of those med mal cases. The bigger ones are really complicated. So me being a sole practitioner, those big ones that get complicated with lots of documents, you need a bigger office to handle those. And then the other thing would be, again, there's professional malpractice, which could be architects, real estate agents, whatever. Then obviously maybe you're talking about legal malpractice. Yeah, that's an area that I've never had any experience in. So, it's funny because people ask me if I do family law, malpractice, all these other areas, and obviously I'm flattered. I wish I could, but since day one, I've done personal injury law. It's all I know. It's my expertise. I've built relationships with other lawyers that handle other things like criminal cases, family law, and so forth. So when people call me, I'm happy to refer them over to someone that I know will do a good job. And if I don't know one, then I'm always happy, and I always tell people, call the Arizona State Bar. They have a list of people. You can tell them the issue, and then the Arizona State Bar is going to give you a list of lawyers that can help you out. So So sorry, I can't help you more, but that is the answer I got. So that's it for today. Thank you for whoever asked the question. Hopefully we get more of them. I like it. I like this interaction. So, follow me, please, on Instagram, Facebook, like the page, share the video, tag your friends. And then next Friday, May 11th, I haven't thought of the topic yet, but I'll do something fun. May 12th, we actually have a Care Fund event over at Scottsdale of Harley, which I've sponsored, and that's going to generate money for the charity Care Fund, which is used to help families that fall on hard times because of sickness or whatever. So if you come by there, I got some extra tickets, I'll let you in. If not, May 11th we'll be on there as well, and maybe I got some extra tickets if anyone's interested for that. So it's a celebrity poker tournament. Shane Doan's the host. So if you want to be a guest of mine, hit me up. I'll put up 4 tickets. If you want to be part of the poker, I'll get you a seat at the poker table as well. All you got to do is hit me up. Email Melanie at Browne Law Group. Make sure Browne has an E at the end and you're good. Again, I appreciate everybody that watches. Anyone needs any help, give me a call. You got a question, email me, hit me up through social media. And then again, next week, May 11th, tune in. Until then, this is Big B, the Anti-Lawyer.